Hey guys, so it's time to talk about last night's episode of The Originals and who should show up in New Orleans but Tyler Lockwood. If you watch my TVD reviews, you know that me and Tyler, we have this kind of love-hate, mostly hate, relationship. I really don't care about Tyler. I was kind of excited that he was gone on TVD, and then he freaking showed up on The Originals. It's like I can't get rid of this kid. So Tyler is back to get his revenge on Klaus. It turns out that last week, when we thought that Marcel had kidnapped Haley, no, it was not Marcel. He was innocent. It was Tyler. And Tyler went to some, really dark places in this episode. So yeah, basically Tyler kidnaps Haley for some revenge because, as we know, Klaus killed Tyler's mom, which kind of sucks. Let's talk about the baby for a second, right? Because one of the big mysteries here is what this baby is really going to be and what powers this baby is really going to have. After this episode, we get that Haley's blood can be used to make hybrids. And not just that, right? Because these are not any kind of run-of-the-mill hybrids. No, these hybrids seem to be sired to Haley, which I found rather interesting. So Tyler brings one of his wolf friends with him and decides to do a little experiment. So then later on in the episode, when Tyler decides to put on his big boy panties and decides he's gonna kill Haley, all of a sudden, his hybrid friend is willing to do anything to protect Haley. I think the big question in this episode is, did Klaus know this was going to happen? You know, is this the reason that all of a sudden he became okay with being a father? Is because there was part of him that thought just maybe he was going to get to have his hybrid family after all. Haley manages to escape from Tyler and ends up running into Elijah, and the two of them have a little chat, which leads to them kind of confronting Klaus with this question. Did you know this was going to happen? Was this your plan all along? And Klaus genuinely seems really kind of hurt, like he can't believe that he's being accused. And I really find that fascinating when Klaus gets his feelings hurt because someone accuses him of doing something evil, when the man has done so many evil things in the past. I mean, I'm just mind-boggled by that. It really did seem like he was upset when Haley and Elijah kind of confronted him. He seemed a little shocked, but I don't know that I quite believe that. The one tiny thing that even makes me consider that Klaus was surprised by the whole hybrid Haley baby news is his reaction. You know, when he realizes that Elijah is pressing him, Klaus does something desperate. And we all know that's what Klaus does. When he feels like he's in a corner, he does something evil and stupid because he's Klaus, and that is what he does. So he bites Elijah. And at first, I was really concerned because you guys know I love Elijah. So I was like, I know we are not going to kill Elijah. I'm going to be angry. But then we get that the bite can't kill him. It's just going to kind of make him suffer. So there you go, sibling rivalry. Speaking of siblings, let's talk about Rebekah in this episode, right? There was definitely an interesting little twist there. She comes back to New Orleans because, of course, she thinks that Haley is missing, and she ends up meeting with Marcel. And he really plants some seeds of doubt in her mind, and I just don't know what to believe in that situation, you guys. It looks like he is really trying to recruit Rebekah to be on his side. He wants to figure out how to either kill Klaus or to put him down for a long time, and he needs Rebekah's help. After a little talking and a little back and forth, you really get that Rebekah is actually starting to listen. So I'm not really sure. I mean, is Rebekah going to betray Klaus for real? And is Marcel being honest? I mean, I think those are two really, really big questions. Let's talk about Josh and Davina, right? So Josh is the vampire that Klaus had compelled and was using to spy on Marcel. But of course, Marcel figured that out last week, and so he takes Josh to Davina to have Davina do a spell to kind of lift Klaus's compulsion. Turns out that the spell's really painful, and so Josh and Davina end up bonding over this time that they have together. It really seemed like the beginning of a friendship was going on there, and I'm not quite sure where that's going, but I felt like the fact that they chose to spend so much time showing us the development of that relationship means that down the line it's gonna be important, so I guess we should pay attention. Let's talk about Klaus for a second, you guys, because this episode really just kind of opened my eyes to a few things about him. A couple of episodes ago, we talked a bit about kind of the twisted relationship that Klaus has with his sister Rebekah. But I think in this episode, you know, the more we saw Klaus being jealous of what's forming between Haley and Elijah, the more I realized that it's not just Rebekah, it's Elijah too. That, you know, Klaus doesn't want Elijah to have anyone in his life except for him. And we know the same is true about Rebekah. It's really like Klaus is jealous, and he's decided that there's no room in either of his brother or sister's lives to love anyone else but him. At the very end of the episode, we see Tyler going to see Marcel. He's given up the information on Klaus, and he really has started a war. So any plans that Marcel had to put Klaus down were completely intensified by the information that Tyler gave him. Tyler tells him about the baby and the fact that once Klaus has the baby, he's going to be able to make more hybrids. And that pretty much means goodbye to the vampires in the quarter. We get that Marcel's not going to let that happen. And so it's time to get ready for war, because I'm sensing that that is what's coming next. This show has been so good in its first season. I mean, like, way above my expectations of what I thought it was going to be. And yeah, this was another good episode. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.